So far, we have learned that when it comes to the grammar of graphics, there are 3 layers that we have uh, to put in our plot: the data, the mapping, and the geom. So ito yung mga tatlong important na components. By the way, guys, kindly load ggplot2 and dplyr. So that's what we're going to use. Okay, load ko na rin. Hindi ko pa yata na-load to. Ayaw. And okay. Sorry for this, guys. I was using this with another class. Okay. Then we used the faithful data before, and then we moved on to the MPG data, the miles per gallon data, and we learned about the different variables that can be found in that data set. Okay, we answered some of the questions here. So let's load first the data and the MPG data. Okay, we're going to continue working on that. Okay, so do you know which part we finished this? No? Yung pagtatali, we finished that. Which part did we end, guys? Were we able to finish this? Exercise 3. Guys, natapos na ba natin tong exercise 3? Hello? Tapos na? Ano yung yes sir na to? Ito yung ngayon. Okay, paki-unmute nga guys kung where exactly we were able to finish. Tapos na ba natin to? Nasimulan natin tong exercise 3. Feedback please.
Nasimulan na po siya.
Simulan na, okay. So ito, di ba? We can plot this kasi pareho silang quantitative variables. So, sabi natin, GM point, ginagamit natin yan to plot 2 quantitative variables. And you can see here a scatter plot. Ba't ang bagal ng R ko ngayon? Bagal, no? Simple lang yung plot nito. Scatter plot lang siya. Wait. Strange. It's taking so long. Simple lang na scatter plot siya. Okay, so we have here the scatter plot. Your x-axis is your MPG in the city, and then your y-axis is the miles per gallon sa highway. Okay, we said that these two variables are positively correlated, or they have direct relationship. Okay, then about this, guys, I think we also did this. We finished this already. No? So let me not repeat this because we have already discussed this. The problem here is that your manufacturer, your model in the x-axis, anyway, Let me just quickly run this. My problem is I don't know why my R is working quite slow. So we said that we have a problem here with the labeling of the model. Here is an example where we are plotting both categorical variables, and with a geom point, it will just be a dot connect uh, pairing the two. So nothing much here, guys. Nothing much here that we can see, unless we will create a bar out of this. Okay, so even if we flip the coordinates, the model will go here. Okay. He said that that will still be a problem. I wonder why my R is it because let me just close some of the tabs here. Dami na. No? See, I was using this with another class. What's happening here? Okay, so I'm just closing some of the tabs. Maybe that's one of the reasons why it's so slow. Okay. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just going to close some of the tabs so that I think that's one of the reasons why. Okay. All right. So let's see. So it's just a pairing your, let's say, OD and then the model with the manufacturer. And this does not tell us much information. This was just to tell you that it's not uh, it's not really advisable to create a geom point out of two categorical variables. Okay. All right. So we already discussed that. And then we said that these are data sets coming from ggplot2. So diamonds, okay, if we take a look at this, okay, so we have the plot here of from the diamonds data set, where if you want to know more about a particular data set, guys, you know the very important help function. So we can have some information about a particular data set, a particular function. So diamonds comes from the ggplot2 package, and these are the variables: price, carat, cut, color, clarity, okay, with uh, over 50,000 observations, quite a big data. Well, not so big relatively. Okay, so here we can see that there seems to be a positive relationship between them. As the carat goes up, the price tends to go up also. There are some items here that have, this is just, seems to be more of an outlier, a very high carat and a very high price. Okay, so let's try this also, economics. This is date and unemployment. You can look at what this economics data is all about using this. I'm not going to do that anymore. So this is a time plot. You have on your x-axis the date and then a certain quantitative variable. This is unemployment rate. And we said that any sequential data is best plotted using a geom line. Okay. Alright, was I able to discuss with you guys yung scaling, wait, am I still recording? Yung scaling, guys, when we put a particular aesthetic inside the mapping, what R will do is that it will scale this particular aesthetic. Did I get to discuss this? Guys, feedback please. Kung na-discussan natin to. Yung portion na to. Okay, for example, here we're mapping. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so let's discuss this, guys. As far as aesthetics is concerned, you can either put it in mapping or you can put it in the geom object. There's a difference between the two. When we put an aesthetic under mapping, which means either here, basta nasa loob siya ng aesthetic, no? Then that will be scaled. Kung ano man yung aesthetic na yun, it will be scaled. Okay? There is one scale for each aesthetic mapping in a plot. The scale is also responsible for creating a guide, an axis or legend that allows you to read the plot, converting aesthetic values back into data values. Okay, so this is the key here. Yung aesthetic na yan, guys, binabalik yan dun sa data values. For example, take a look at this. You have your x-axis displacement and your y-axis highway, and then yung color is equal to class. Okay. Now, notice that yung color na to, yung aesthetic na to, it's part of your aesthetic. No? So, it's part of mapping. In that case, guys, yung color na to, i-scale yan. That will be scaled. And since ito, categorical variable to, i-scale niya yung color dito sa class na variable. So, if we run this, okay, so we have this now. Okay, so you have your x-axis displacement, and then your y-axis, which is your highway MPG, miles per gallon. And we know from the previous discussion that they are inversely related or negatively related. And you can see that the color, guys, was mapped. It was scaled. Yung color kasi linagay natin sa class, no? Eh yung class, ano yan? It's a categorical variable. So it gave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different colors dun sa class. Okay, so here you can easily see that this green, this is your mid-size. Itong pink na to, these are your SUVs. Okay, they have the higher, highest displacements. And you notice higher displacement means lower miles per gallon. Sa highway driving, mababa sila, no? Ibig sabihin, they consume more gas, therefore less yung mileage na travel. Compare that with this one, ito mataas, yung subcompact, no? Dito nagko-congregate, guys, yung itong mga violet, okay? Nagko-congregate sila dito. So you can see, by means of the color code, you can have insights about this using the colors inside the aesthetic mapping. So sabi natin, pag pinapasok natin siya sa aesthetic o sa mapping, it's scaled, no? Ini-scale siya. Okay, let's have another example. Okay, take a look at this first one. Yung color, guys, okay, yung color, it's equal to blue, no? Plus geom point. So pareho lang to ng minamap natin, pinaplot natin sa taas. Displacement on the x, highway MPG on the y-axis. Then we inserted here under aesthetic, color is equal to blue. Okay, and then geom point. Notice what happens here. If we run this, okay, tingnan nyo guys, so hindi siya nag-assign ng color na blue. Okay, in-scale niya yung color. Okay, trinate niya as a data, wala namang actually data na blue, no? Pero be that as it may, linagay pa rin niya, no? So pink yung in-assign niya, may ano kasi may order yung pagbigay nila ng color, no? According to scale. If you take a look at this, guys, yung kanina natin, okay, this one, let me run this again. Okay, notice guys yung una, diba? Yung una parang, ano ba to? Parang it's like orange, pagka-orange ba yan, o pink. So, pareho lang siya dito, no? Yun ang discover ko, parang yung sa scale, may hierarchy CR, kung ano muna mauna, pangalawa, pangatlo. Depende dun sa levels ng variables. Here guys, you notice that hindi niya linagay dun sa ano, sa yung kulay ng ano, ng dots natin dito. Same thing, ito, color, dun niya linagay sa geom point, but it's technically still part of mapping. If you recall, sabi ko dati, yung aesthetic na yan, guys, you can put it here sa ggplot or you can put it here sa geom. Regardless of where you put your aesthetic, it's technically still part of your mapping. Okay? So if we do this, you'll notice that it's still the same. So kahit na nasa geom na siya, hindi pa rin siya nagbigay ng color na blue kasi even if, as I said, it's under geom, nasa aesthetic pa rin siya. Now compare that with this one. No? Geom point, wala na aesthetic dito. So that means it's now localized to geom point and the result will be different. So here, mag-a-assign na ng color dun sa geom point. Okay? So please note the difference. Kapag ang isang aesthetic, linalagay natin sa mapping mismo, isa-scale siya. Otherwise, kung ilagay natin dun sa geometric object, then it will be localized in the sense that ilalagay niya kung ano man yung sorry guys, it will put the aesthetic, whatever that is, inside that geom point. Sorry. So in the first and second plot, guys, yung value na blue sa color, guys, it was scaled. And then sa third plot, what happened? Sa third plot, guys, it assigned the color blue to that geom point. Okay, so there's a difference between putting in aesthetic dun sa loob ng mapping or putting it inside a geom. Okay, now, when you deal with the aesthetics, whether it's color or shape or size, it works better with certain variables. Kunyari yung color, it works better with categorical variables. Ganun din yung shape, guys, better with categorical variables. Now, why is color better suited with categorical and not continuous? Imagine kung continuous yan, guys, no? Continuous yung variable natin, tapos 1 to 1 million yan, different numbers, different values. Ibig sabihin, mag-1 million na color scheme si R. Okay. That's hardly helpful, guys. It provides no utility at all to the one looking at the graph or the plot. Kasi hindi naman natin madidistinguish yung 1 million different colors na. So color, and also shape, guys. Yung shape, imagine kung isang plot meron siyang 100 shapes. how in the world are you going to distinguish, no? Yung differentiation in terms of shape. So, color and shape works well with categorical variables. Kahit si shape, guys, may limit lang yan. No? Si R, up to 6 shapes lang. Pag may 7 or 8 different levels ka na sa variable mo, hindi na siya maglalagay ng shape doon kasi may hirapan na sa 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 visual din sa human eye. Size, guys, can work with this can work with continuous, no? Continuous variables. Although pwede rin siya hindi mas ano siya sa continuous variables. Okay. Now, we know that before, pag nag-overplotting, it's best to do faceting. Okay? So faceting works a lot, especially if you want to distinguish between different groups in the data. We'll have an example. Okay, so in principle, less is more, no? Less, if you can come up with a plot that has less aesthetics, pero importante clear siya, naiintindihan, that's a lot better than one having a plot with so many aesthetics just placed there without cost. No? So make sure that, guys, that sa project nyo, importante aesthetics na maganda. No? Okay, siyempre, kunyari may color distinction between the different groups, that's a lot better than no color at all. If it helps convey a message, if it helps convey a story, then mas maganda yung ganon. Okay? So that's the operative term then. Operative term is understandability. No? Kung mas maiintindihan yung kwento, so much the better, no? As far as aesthetic is concerned. Okay? But if ano na siya, superfluous na, ibig sabihin, dagdag na wala namang silbi, wala namang utility, then might as well clear the clutter. Kasi pag clutter din, ang dami mga aesthetic shapes doon na wala naman talagang binibigay na value sa pagbibigay ng insights or sa understandability ng data, then do not, guys, do not. Okay, so importante dito yung telling a story. Okay? Telling a story about the data. There are now many books on data storytelling about the data. Okay? I-search nyo, guys, sa internet. And if you're interested really in that, hanap kayo ng magagandang books that gives insights, that gives suggestions on how to present your plot, present your data for understandability. Okay. Now, ang question dito, guys, paano kung i-map natin yung color and shape sa continuous variable? Sabi natin si color and shape best with categorical variables. Paano kung ilagay natin siya sa continuous? Kunyari ito. So this is your X, city driving. Ito, dito, y-axis. Displacement, guys, is, okay, ano ba yung displacement? Anong klaseng variable to? Ano ba yung MPG natin? Okay. So, tinalan natin. Just to have a quick summary, head, MPG, bagal yung head lang. I don't know why. Okay, displacement, guys, ito siya, no? So it's more of a it's double, it's numeric, no? So ang gagawin natin, guys, ilalagay natin yung color dun sa displacement. Okay, sabi natin, guys, pag quantitative variable, okay, no? So remember, guys, kapag color and shape, okay, remember this? Kapag color and shape, this one, best with categorical variables. Kasi imagine kung napakarami na values, levels yung quantitative natin, mahirap, no? Mahirap na intindihan. Okay, so let's plot this quickly.
Sir?
Yes?
Bakit po ulit may plus sign before dun
Saan?
Sa taas po.
Dito?
Color equals.
Okay, yes. Sorry, hindi ko na Dito, guys, you can reverse the the magnification of the color. Sige, i-ano muna natin to. Hindi ko pa pala naran to, no? Naran ko lang ba to? So let me run this. Okay. Ito yung, we plotted yung color as an aesthetic dun sa displacement. So if you notice, guys, it gave a, magnification scheme or color scheme. Yung mga light one, guys, let's take a look at this. Let me run this console. Control C, Control V, so that I can increase the size of the plot. Okay, zoom natin. Yun na yata. Okay. Okay, take a look at this. No? Yung color scheme niya, light blue, that's a 7. And yung lower number, yung 2 for example, that's dark. That's almost black na, dark blue. Okay, if you take a look guys, yung mga color, ito muna plot guys ang highway at saka ng city driving, no? Yung miles per gallon. So we know that there's a positive relationship between them. Pag lumalaki yung miles per gallon sa city, tumataas din yung miles per gallon sa highway. Okay? And then, dito, yung nasa baba, no? Dito yung mga nasa baba, ibig sabihin, sila yung mabababa yung yung city driving nila, yung miles per gallon in terms of city at saka sa highway. Ito yun. And these are the ones with high displacement. In displacement in terms of liters, okay? In displacement kasi it's a measure of the capacity of the yung sa gasoline, no? So pag mataas yan guys, guzzler usually. Guzzler, ibig sabihin matakaw sa gas yung vehicle na yun. And true enough guys, pag mataas yung liters, mataas yung displacement, mababa yung yung mileage niya, mababa yung distance na mako-cover nila. As compared to this one, yung mga dark blue, no? Ito. Okay, itong mga to, dark blue siya, ito siya, ibig sabihin nun, lower yung displacement niya. So it tells us also that they're the ones that have high mileage sa highway at saka sa city. Okay, so dito guys, nakikita natin not only the relationship between the two variables, but also another dimension is added, yung color. So you see how this will help in the analysis of your data. Kasi hindi na lang yung, kung panay itim lang kasi yan guys, hindi natin makikita yung differentiation ng displacement. Here we added another dimension to our to the insight from this data in terms of the color. Okay, yung question kanina, was that you, Inigo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Thank you for that question. Ang tanong dito, bakit daw may plus, no? Okay, ito yung plus guys. Pwede nating okay, sorry, I forgot to asan yan? Anong naman ito na? You can actually change the ordering, no? Pag i-minus natin yan, okay, mababago guys yung yung order ng yung color arrangement, yung color U, yung U. Okay, sorry na. Let me remove this kasi nag-run pa rin siya. Okay, if you notice now guys, yung 2 ngayon, siya na yung light, no? Yung 7 ngayon, siya na yung siya na yung dark. Okay? So nasa preference lang yan. Okay, it changes the arrangement of the color. Does that answer your question, Inigo?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Thank you. Okay, so let's go here, guys. How about this? Okay, tingnan ko ha. Color and size might work with continuous variable. In certain instances pwede. Kasi ito konti lang naman yung niya eh. From 1 up to 7 lang yun eh, yung levels ng displacement, no? Okay, pero pag malaki na guys, pag malaki na, nari millions na yan, medyo mas mahirap na yan, no? Okay, how about this? A continuous variable, which is displacement, can be mapped to shape. Kaso may limitation. Okay, run natin. Okay, sorry. Cannot, no? Sorry. So pag shape guys, hindi pa pwedeng continuous. Ang shape talaga, para sa ano lang yan, para sa categorical variable. Okay? I should have... Ganyan lang yan, para clear na clear. So hindi natin pwedeng i-map si quantitative variable into shape. Hindi siya pwede. How about this one, guys? Class is categorical. Diba? Pwede ba natin gamitin siya kay shape? Yes, pwede. If you click this, okay. Notice na si class, 7 different levels yan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 different levels. And then, what you notice here is that yung 6 lang yung may 6 lang yung may default na shape. Yung isa, si SUV, wala. So, hindi natin makikita dito si SUV kasi wala siyang designated na shape. At saka, guys, ang hirap din naman kung kunyari, meron kang 20 levels ng data, tapos gagamitan mo ng shape, it's very difficult to distinguish if you have 20 different levels for your data. Limited lang yung paggamit ng ng shape. Our human eyes is not that astute or equipped to handle differences like that. Okay, now here, sabi dito, pwedeng dalawang aesthetics ang gagamitin natin. Ito. So yung size, dinagay natin sa displacement, at saka yung color. Itong color kanina ginamit na natin, di ba? We can also use size. Sabi natin si size, pwede yan guys sa continuous variable. So if we plot this, yan, tingnan nyo, no? So dalawa yung faceting niya dito, no? Dalawa yung mapping niya. Okay, first we have the displacement, which is color, yung kanina. So same like the first one we did a while ago. And then yung displacement, okay, the higher the displacement, the bigger the circle. So yung malalaking circle dito guys, sila yung ano sila guys? Ano tong blue na to? Light blue. This light blue is, yung mga light blue guys, sila yung matataas yung displacement, di ba? Tapos, sa shape, no? Sa size pala, sorry, not the shape, the size, no? Sa size guys, the bigger the size, the higher the displacement. So, if you take a look at this, ito, yung mga light blue na to, higher displacement sila in both the color and the size, right? Light blue, tapos malaking size, sila yung malalaking displacement. Ito naman guys, yung maliliit na to, okay? Dark sila yung kulay, at saka maliliit yung ano nila, yung size ng ng circle nila. Okay? So ito, dalawang levels, no? 2 levels are shown here. Okay, so pwede yun guys. Pwede. In fact, pwede pang tatlo eh. Kaso medyo mahirap na rin yung analysis nun, no? So ito bordering on pwedeng kasi pwedeng kung i-separate naman natin, no? Displacement as ang tanong diyan, pwede bang mas maganda na naka-separate na lang si size is equal to displacement in one plot, or mas maganda ba na ipagsama sila? Okay, so that's what you have to find out, no? Anyway, pwede naman trial and error sa mga plots. So try to see those plots that really would enhance your interpretation or understanding ng data instead of model it, or instead of create more confusions out of your plots. Okay, so faceting guys, we have actually started discussing this before. Ang diniscuss natin yung facet trap, no? Okay, if you want to learn more about this, okay, pwede naman lagi yung best friend natin, yung question mark, no? I leave that to you to look at guys. So dito same din yung pinaplot natin, si displacement sa X, si highway MPG sa Y, geom point. Okay, then here we have facet. By the way guys, dalawang klaseng faceting. You have facet grid at saka facet wrap. Tingnan natin yung difference nila. Okay. So here you have facet wrap, and then you notice this dot, and then tilde, and then class. So if we run this, let's ko muna to. So facet wrap natin to, no? So how was this plotted? Ang finacet wrap niya guys is in terms of the class, no? So 7 classes. Okay? Plinat niya si highway at saka si displacement, no? Highway and displacement, highway sa y-axis, displacement sa x-axis, pero faceted against the class. So you have 7 classes, therefore you have 7 separate plots of highway and displacement. So that's what we call a facet wrap. Now there's another class, there's another type of facet, and that's the facet grid. Okay, so ito yung facet grid. So nagkaiba lang tayo dito guys sa facet grid. Then you have dot, tilde, and then class. So if we run this, it will give us this one. Okay, what do you notice guys? What do you notice? Naka-grid type siya, no? Okay. So ano yung common sa kanila dito? Common sa plot? What can you
Sir,
easily...
yung compact and mid-size.
Okay, okay. Mukhang mali yung question ko. But your answer is correct, no? Ibig sabihin, tama yung medyo common sila, pareho silang mga highway. But my question was, I meant, this is what I meant for my question. Mali yung pag-question ko. Ano dito yung variable na outright pwede nating ma-analyze? Easily analyze yung variable na to. And this type of plot. Kasi dalawa lang yung variables natin dyan. Highway, tsaka displacement. Which of the two variables are we able to easily analyze?
Sir, the highway.
Bakit highway?
Because it's the y-axis po.
Okay,
so it can give you a better idea based off of the height of the points.
Okay, okay. How about yung displacement?
For the displacement, sir, medyo mahirap ibasahin.
Yeah, that's correct. Now, the reason why highway is the answer is because, tinan nyo yung highway guys, iisang axis lang. Di ba? That's one axis for all the facets, for all the class. So, madali natin ma-compare in terms of yung miles per gallon sa highway. Right? Ito, yung 20. Isa lang yan para sa lahat ng class. Yung 30, isa lang din. 40, isa lang din. So, it's easier to analyze your y-axis kung ganito yung grid natin. No? Okay, kasi iisa lang yung y-axis natin. Yan, yung horizontal na to. While yung x-axis natin, guys, it's repeated several times. Di ba? So, hindi kagad natin mako-compare outright. No? Kasi yung paglatag ng x-axis natin, magkakahiwalay sila. This is one x-axis, another x-axis, iba-iba, hindi common yung x-axis natin. Okay? So when do you use this, guys? So pag facet grid, guys, na if you want to analyze the y-axis, okay, it means na iisa lang yung parang common yung axis natin sa y. Okay, you use this. Dot, tilde, and then class. So this is for, ang tawag dyan, guys, horizontally arranged. Bakit horizontally arranged? Kasi iisa lang yung common yung horizontal natin na grid, no? Okay, clear yun, guys? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Clear. Okay, good. Now, sige nga, ilagay nyo nga to. Hindi ko yata linagay to, no? So, just insert script, tapos copy nyo na lang yung nasa taas, tapos baguhin nyo na lang yung order ng ano, ng tilde at saka yung dot. Okay. So dito guys, kung tingnan nyo, no? The order was reversed, no? Ito na una yung variable and then tilde and then dot. Yung kanina, dot, tilde, the variable plus. Ito, variable plus, tilde, and then dot. So let's run this. Okay, what do you notice here, guys? Okay, take note, guys, that the common axis is your y-axis. So ito ang tawag dito, guys, vertically arranged. Okay, if you want to focus on the x-axis, then ito. Ito, guys, di ba? So dito makikita natin, for example, sa displacement, dito, yung mga marami sa number 2, is ito yung mga compact, tapos meron din si mid-size, si subcompact, marami silang 2 yung displacement. Pero doon sa malalaking displacement dito, ayan, no? Kita nyo dito, nag-iisa lang siya. Oh. Si two-seater, tsaka si SUV, okay, tsaka some other, may konting pick-up, no? Na matataas yung displacement nila, more than 5, 6, 7. Okay? Si SUV, meron ding, wala siyang below 2, no? Meron siyang between 2 and 3. Okay, pero si pick-up, meron din siyang between 2 and 3. So medyo nasa gitna siya, no? 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? Yung mga nasa taas lang, guys, itong si two-seater, no? Designed to siguro for karera, for racing, okay? So matatakaw sa gas, no? Okay? Itong si compact yan, mabababa yung ano nila, no? Mabababa yung displacement. So here the focus is on displacement, no? Okay, so if you want the focus to be a comparison among the dun sa x-axis nyo, gawin natin dapat na vertically arranged. And the way to do that is this one. Itong tilde and then dot. On the other hand, yung isa naman, ito yung kanina, no? So run ko to pareho. Okay. Ito yung first one. So this is your, vertically and then horizontally. Okay guys, clear? Now, pwede rin you can also remove the dot, no? Pwede rin to. Acceptable to. Let's run. Ay, wait. Hindi pwede dito sa vertical. Okay, let me repeat this. Okay. Sa vertical, guys, kailangan may dot sa dulo. Sa horizontal, pwedeng walang dot. I don't know why R did that, no? So ito, guys, grid din to, no? Facet grid. Okay, we know that this is ito yung ano natin, no? Ito yan, yung vertically, horizontally arranged. Which means horizontal, guys, ang tinitingnan natin is the y-axis. So it really depends, guys, on how you arrange sa mapping nyo, kung how you arrange your y-axis at saka x-axis at saka y-axis. So you should be aware of that. Okay, so pwede rin i-facet, guys, dalawang variables. No? So if you take a look at this, dito, facet grid dalawa, year at saka drive. So let's run this. Yan. So andito sa main axis natin si highway at saka si displacement. So this is, okay. How do we interpret this, guys? How do we interpret this? We can see the difference, no? sa 1999 at saka 2008. Ito yung level ng 1999. Right, guys? So in terms of, technically, guys, if you take a look at per year, anong arrangement niya? It is per year, guys. It's more horizontal, di ba? Kasi if you take a look at this, common yung 40, 30, 20 dito sa tatlong objects na to. No? So four-wheel drive, front, at saka rear wheel. Okay, we can see here that yung front-wheel drive, guys, sila yung medyo mataas yung mileage. No? Si rear wheel, okay, mas mababa yung mileage nila. Tama, guys? Tapos si four-wheel drive, okay, nasa average siya, tapos may mabababa siya. Right, guys? But you can also look at this in terms of the displacement. No? So, in a sense, actually four-dimensional na yung tinitingnan natin dito. No? Yung highway, yung displacement, yung drive, okay, at saka yung year. Okay? So magkaiba yung year level nila. Notice sa 2008, medyo nawala tong dalawang to, no? Na mataas yung mileage. 2008, medyo on the average parang bumaba yung mileage ng front wheel drive. Okay, so baka may question? Okay. All right. Thank you. You're correct, James, no? Okay, any questions about this, guys? So it takes a bit of, syempre, a little effort to understand and to analyze, no? This one. It will not be given to you in a silver platter. Which begs the question, so useful ba kung maglalagay tayo ng dalawang facet to plot your data? Okay. See, in some instances, guys, useful siya. In other instances, it might not. No? So you have to decide and to judge. But ito, mukhang kaya naman, no? Kaya namang, it just takes a little time, no? Rather than just a one-dimensional plot or two-dimensional plot, guys. Hindi kagad. Kasi ito, two, bali yung highway, yung displacement, plus yung drive at saka yung yung year. So 3 to 4 dimensions ng data yung tinitingnan natin dito. Okay. Alright, so ito, nagawa na natin to. Okay, so let me skip that kasi pareho lang naman to, no? It's just the same. Facet trap din to. Same as what we did a while ago. Okay, let's go here to geoms, no? To the different types of geoms. So far, guys, nakuha na natin si geom line, geom smooth, nagawa na natin yan, diba? Geom point, what other geoms? Density, nakagawa tayo dati, no? Box plot, bar plot, we know that, histogram. I don't think we have discussed frequency polygon, so let's give it a quick, very quick example now. Okay, so first yung smooth, alam na natin, di ba? Alam natin na ang default niyan is your localized, no? Yung lowest natin, and then ang default din niya, your standard error or the confidence interval is equal to true. So when we plot this, okay, nasa x-axis natin yung displacement, nasa y yung highway, and then it gives us a smooth, parang localized regression line na to, smooth line, and then yung gray shade dyan, that's your confidence interval, which is given to us even if we don't ask for it kasi that's the default. Okay, then so ito in-explain lang natin, no? Now you can change the the geom smooth by adding this this level or factor, yung span. Yung span, guys, ranges from 0, which is exceedingly wiggly. Susundan niya yung mga data points. Tapos, to 1. Pag 1, guys, hindi siya, not so wiggly. Okay, in fact, ang default ng geom smooth is span is equal to 1. So, let's run this first, yung pangalawa. Hindi ko yata linagay ito sa, sa file nyo. Do you have this, guys? Paki-chat nga kung meron.
Yes, sir, meron.
Meron? Okay, good. Akala ko wala. So, itong pangalawa, guys, if I run this, it's the same, no? Span is equal to 1. Yung kanina. Yung hindi natin linagyan ng, we didn't put span is equal to 1. It's the same. That means that the default is span is equal to 1. But if it's a span na, let's say, less than 1, let's say this, 0.2. So notice yung kaiba niya, it's more sensitive to the rises or downs ng data natin. So medyo sinusundan niya kung saan medyo tumataas. Okay? So medyo mas wiggly siya. Mas wiggly. So you can redefine your smooth, geom smooth, by adding this function, yung span. Okay, so this one we have also discussed this before. We don't want the smooth line, but rather we want the straight line. So we have to introduce this method is equal to LM. So that's your linear model. Linear ang ilalabas yan. Yan. And since hindi natin linagay na SE is equal to false, isasama niya yung confidence interval. If you put SE is equal to false there, then tatanggalin niya yung confidence interval. Okay, kala ko may question. Alright. Then, okay, quickly, itong mga box plots, guys. Okay, let's go here. Plot muna natin itong si drive type. This is a categorical variable at saka si highway, and then let's use geom point for that. Okay. So here you can see, guys, on the x-axis is your categorical variable. Tapos si highway. So you'll notice here it's more of the count, no? Binibilang niya. So this is four-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and rear-wheel drive. Okay, so this is an instance when we can use the geom point in order to plot a categorical variable and a quantitative variable. Okay, then let's use another plot. Instead of the geom point, let's use geom jitter. So pareho lang yung x-axis natin, yung drive. So here makikita natin na G-meter siya, no? Diba? Naalala niyo yung sinake niya ng konti, no? So medyo malapad yung yung width natin for four-wheel, front wheel, and rear wheel drive. Okay, you can of course use also the box plot. Alam natin yan. So this will give us the 5-number summary. Oops, sorry. Okay. Anong mali guys dito? Kasi bakit may plus, no? Yan, box plot, guys. Ito yung quantitative natin. So okay lang. Okay, so distinguish between the 4 drives. And you can see that the median of the front wheel drive, sinasabi ko nga yung front wheel drive, looks like mas economical siya. Mas malaki yung median niya ng mileage. In fact, dito marami siyang marami siyang types ng cars na matataas yung mileage. Lowest median is the 4-wheel drive. Tapos nasa gitna si rear wheel. Okay, there's another type of plot. There's another geom. Kung tawagin natin yan yung violin. Okay, so this is your violin. Okay, medyo sinusundan yung density ng data natin. Okay, ito yung medyo malaki yung ano, guys, malalaki yung distribution. No? Dito maliit lang, dito maliliit sa minimum and sa maximum. Okay, si front wheel medyo dispersed siya, no? Ito si rear wheel drive. Okay, questions about the violin, guys? Okay, clear ba? Paki-chat nga kung clear so far. Clear ba yung discussion sa violin? Okay, good. Thank you. Alright. Okay, we can combine, no? Pwede natin i-combine si violin at saka yung iba, no? So first, we're going to use this geom Sina. And this is coming from ggforce. I don't think I have, I already asked you to download, to install this. So, kung hindi nyo pa na-install, guys, pakilagay install that package. Just paki-install muna tong, kindly install this ggforce. And then, i-require nyo library, i-load natin. I'll give you a minute for that. Once you're done, guys, kindly chat kung okay na. Paki-chat na lang dito, guys, kung na-load nyo na, kung okay na, no? So that I know. ggforce.